Hey everyone, it's Nico from the blog documentingsimpleliving.com, where I talk about simplifying food, self-care, and consumption in the modern world. Today I'm going to be making sourdough pumpkin muffins. This is a no-wait sourdough recipe, which means that we're not going to be long fermenting the flour, the wheat. We're going to just be making the muffins right away, and they're actually ready in under 30 minutes, which is fantastic if you want a quick snack. I'm definitely in the mode of making baked goods with pumpkin at the moment, so I hope you are as well. Pumpkins just for us are really available right now, so I'm taking advantage of that. If where you are, you don't have access to pumpkins as easily, you can make this recipe with butternut squash. I actually made a few videos back pumpkin sourdough cinnamon rolls using butternut squash. It's just remarkable. They taste the exact same, especially in baked applications. And especially if you add pumpkin pie spice, which this recipe calls for. Don't worry about it if you don't have pumpkins. You can still very easily make this recipe and it will taste just great. So to make this, I first roasted my pumpkin by cutting it in half and roasting it on 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes, and then just scooped out the seeds, took out the roasted butternut squash, and used my immersion blender to blitz it until it was a puree. You need about 1.5 cups for this recipe. So that was 1 small pumpkin, but if you're using butternut squash, it's usually about 1.5 small butternut squash. Then I creamed together 1 cup of coconut sugar with 1/2 cup of room temperature butter. To that bowl, I added 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of sourdough starter. You can also use sourdough discard, about a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually just splash it in, and 1.5 cups of your pumpkin puree. Then I used my spoon to mix that all together. In a separate bowl, I combined 2 cups of all-purpose white flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. I also, to that bowl, added 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I mixed all the dry ingredients together and then poured the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mixed them until they were just combined. Then I just poured the batter into my muffin tin, which I had greased with butter, put them into my oven, which I had preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius, and I baked them for about 15 minutes. One thing I like to do is add pumpkin seeds on top of the muffin batter before I put it into the oven to add an autumnal touch. There are so many things that you can put into these muffins. If you put anything into it, I would use about 1/2 cup of chocolate chips or dried fruit or nuts or whatever you want to put into your batter. I would use about 1/2 cup. Of course, when you're making the muffins and you look at your batter and you see the chocolate chips in there and you want more, you can add more. It's not an exact science. Now, I should say that I have a very small oven. I'm sort of learning that in baking, my oven bakes things a lot faster than other people's. So I'm trying to get feedback if you make these recipes, if yours also takes 15 minutes to bake or if it takes longer. So if you do make this, let me know. I'm trying to gauge if my oven really does make things faster. So yours might need about 20 minutes. If you look in the oven and they have like a golden brown exterior, then they're probably done. If you're looking for other really quick and simple sourdough discard recipes, I would recommend checking out an ebook that I put out recently. It costs $3 and there are 10 simple recipes that you can make with sourdough starter or discard that are all ready in under an hour. And they're tailored for this time of year. They're all really cozy baked goods. So there's sourdough banana bread, apple muffins, apple cake, sourdough granola, which is super crunchy, sourdough chocolate chip muffins, zucchini bread, tons more. So if that is of interest, I'll leave a link in the description to that ebook. And if you're not yet subscribed to my newsletter, I would recommend subscribing because I do plan to put out more ebooks that are not only recipes, food recipes, but also herbal remedy recipes that are beneficial for this time of year in preventing colds and flus, and on other topics as well, all related to simplifying our food or self-care or consumption. And so if that's of interest to you, I do plan to put out more of those ebooks. I'll be charging a small amount for each ebook, but if you are a newsletter subscriber, I plan to offer the subscribers discounts to those ebooks. So if any of that's of interest to you, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. I'll also leave a link to that in the description as well. well. So I hope you enjoy making these muffins. They're perfect for this time of year. But until next time, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll speak to you in the next Documenting Simple Living video.